let's go to our trial, shall we? Hey, I'm Ryan with School of Rock Woodstock, and today I'm going to show you the 5 basic chords for beginners. Let's get into it. The first chord is going to be your G chord. Several ways you can play this, but we'll make it easy for today. You're going to start with your your middle finger here on the G note on your low E string. Then you're going to start with your your first finger on the B string, on the B note on your second string, and then your ring finger finally on the E string on G. That's your first chord there. Then we can move on to the C chord, which is a really easy transition here. You're just going to take your first 2 fingers, move them over to the next set of strings right there. You can actually leave your ring finger on there if you want. Another way you can play it is have the same shape that you did there, but put your first finger on the C note on the B string. So together those would sound like this. For your G, you switch to C like this, or switch to it like this. Cool, let's move on to the next one. The next chord, this is the tricky one. This is the D chord. This is the one that's hard for people's fingers. You want to make sure that your fingers are curled flat, because curling your fingers is going to help get that shape on there, okay? So with the D chord, you're going to have an open D, you're going to have an A, your first finger on the A note there, then a D with your ring finger, and the weird part is having your middle finger on the F sharp here on the E string. So again, D, A, D, and F sharp on the E string. So those 3 chords together, G, to a C, to a D. All right, that's 3 out of 4 so far. Next one is the A minor chord. It's a little bit sadder sounding, but it's used in many, many, many songs. So this is what it sounds like. A minor chord is going to have the open A string here. Then you're going to have the E note, which is the 2nd fret on the D string. Then A on the G string. And then you're going to have C on the B string. So it sounds like this. All 4 of those chords together sound like this. Starting to come together as an actual song. Next chord here, we're going to do an E minor, so also kind of a sadder sounding song. This transition from A minor is very simple. You're going to take off your first finger and move your ring finger and middle finger just down one set of strings to the A and D string. So it should sound like this. 2 ways you can do that. You can have it from the A and just switch those fingers over to lower strings, or you can use your first 2 fingers here so that you have a little bit more reach on chords later. Either way works. So the transition between all those chords sounds like this. Now let's think of some songs that have the chords in there. Famous songs like Knock on Heaven's Door, G, D, got something like Sweet Home Alabama. Zombie here, we're going to use the E minor chord, which remember here is the second fret on the A and D string. Okay, and then we're going to go to a C chord right there. We're going to go to a G chord, to a D chord. C, G, D. So, to recap on what we talked about today, your main chords that you're using as a beginner here are your G chord, your C chord, your D chord, A minor, and E minor. Let us know what you think about these chords and what songs you've learned to play with these. Do cool solos and stuff. Ciao. So that song will sound like this. Not sound like that because it's a different song. You know what song it is? Let us know in the comments.
Inch went away.
That's
gonna be there.
That happens more often than you think.
That is true.
Zombie. Yeah. I don't know any famous songs like that, so I have to think about it for a second. You know off the top of your head? The next chord, does it matter what order I go in? It doesn't matter, right? All right.